My name is Rodrigo Velloso. I'm a composer and lecturer at Escola de Música, Universidade Federal do Rio de Janeiro. I teach both at undergraduate and postgraduate levels, and mainly electroacoustic music and related subjects: composition, traditional harmony, music analysis. My research students have been mostly involved with electroacoustic music composition. I regard improvisation as a basic tool for a composer, even if he's not involved in more avant-garde attitudes. Improvisation is embedded in the compositional act itself. Of course, we're talking about two different levels of improvisation. One which is a more private attitude towards generating material or developing it, and another is related to a performance setting. In this sense, I felt the need in the composition syllabus here at the university to create freer settings for composition students. So I created a subject, a discipline, a decade ago, called Oficina de Criação Eletrônica, where they could actually work with contemporary techniques, including free improvisation. Although I do not regard this as a free improvisation course, I like to invite them to use free improvisation techniques as a tools for developing their own languages and exploring unforeseen possibilities. As an electroacoustic music composer and one who is strongly related to the musique concrète tradition, free improvisation is at the genesis of any creative act. When you select some material, be it a piece of pottery or whatever, your attitude towards this material is necessarily improvisatory, because this is an object that you don't even control from a more traditional perspective as an instrument. When you are trained as a performer in whichever instrument, you are taught how to produce sound correctly, how to produce scales, how to explore your phrasing. Of course, you can carry on exploring the instrument, and that's the realm of free improvisation nowadays, is to go beyond what the traditional techniques teach you to do. And in this sense, I've been somehow investing again in my performance vein, so to speak. And I've been playing the flute quite a lot recently, and this has been feeding back to my compositional output in a different perspective too. Well, I do think you can expose students to improvisation practices, so it can be taught in the same sense that you can teach compositional techniques from different periods. So it's a question. My attitude towards teaching composition is very much based on analysis. So I invite students to analyze a piece and draw some conclusions or extract some attitudes and techniques that they can explore in their own work. So I do think you can teach free improvisation. I do not know if you can teach someone to be a good improviser or a good composer, but certainly you can analyze the object, extract some techniques and principles which kind of relate to this phenomenon, and then use it as a tool for inviting students to develop their own creative interest. I think that when they see somebody doing something that they would not allow themselves to do in their own instruments, that's a very liberating experience. Sometimes a student is constrained by a certain language orientation, and when he sees somebody tackling a more experimental attitude towards their own instruments. They thought, well, can I do this too? So it can be very liberating. And of course, I think even if they don't invest on the free improvisation career, so to speak, these principles will help them develop their own languages in whichever idiom they're interested in. Some students have actually developed a very successful career out of this, like Marcos Campelo, who was a composition student here, both undergraduate and postgraduate level. I supervised his master's, and he's now fully involved with free improvisation. Other students have remained more attached to conservative idioms, but I do think they've gained a lot in their own compositional attitudes. Now I'm thinking of Marco Antonio Machado, who's a composer of instrumental music, mostly written scores, but he developed a very interesting technique of collage and reappropriating material and doing it in a very experimental way. He's not doing free improvisation, but the attitude he has towards written material is somehow related to it.